All right, everyone. Well, welcome to the Racing Experts. Of course, I am Jonathan Fjeld. Dominic Aragon, how you feeling today?
Hey, doing pretty good. Doing really good. It's been a big day. We have somebody here with us that I will be able to share more on that too. But yeah, doing pretty good, Jonathan.
Oh, yeah. Very special guest. Yeah, I think he has all of it, if you will, not no pun intended. It is Geoff Bodine. Jeff, how you doing?
Doing great, Christopher. Hi, everybody out there watching. Doing great. Uh, just excited about the new release of the book. Daytona coming up this weekend. We're going to do some signings there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Pray that it doesn't rain. Please pray. Everyone pray. And of course, we're going to be at Martinsville in April. Geoff Gordon and I are going to be co-grand marshals. And of course, it's the 40th year for Hendrick Motorsports. So they're having some big exciting things at the race shop just across the street on Tuesday and Wednesday. I'll be there for that signings, and if you haven't been there to Hendrick Motorsports to see the museum and all that, it's really really beautiful. And of course, then we'll be at the track doing signings too. Haven't figured out exactly where at Charlotte we're going to sign, but it's somewhere there.
Yeah, basically, you tell anybody, hey, Geoff Bodine's going to be there. Got the book, got the signings. Get 1,000 people to show up. You got it.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people who actually were at New Smyrna this last weekend and had a great turnout. The NASCAR Modified Series was there and 200 laps, and a lot of folks from up north are there. And boy, they came over and we talked, we signed books, and that was all good.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, Geoff, of course, driver analyst for the Racing Experts, Geoff's Journal, of course, and they'll dive right into it. The book, Dom, Geoff, I think this book is about a decade in the making. Would you say?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was,
go
it
ahead,
was,
Jeff.
it was a few years for sure. And, you know, I, I had trouble trying to end a book because I'm still doing things. So how do you stop doing things or stop the book when you're still doing things? So we kept going and going and going, and finally told down, look, we got to stop. This is long enough. Let's stop so we can hopefully have the book for Daytona, which we did, and plus, we hooked up with Trinity Publishing, TBN affiliate, and they published the book. They read it, went through it, took out all the bad language other people were telling us. No, there's just a few words they had to change, and but we're really happy with being associated with them. But they hurried up and got this book out so we could have it for Daytona.
Definitely, and Jonathan, it's been a long time coming, and we wanted to make sure that we told it right and the story would be told right. And for me personally, the goal was to have something that we could hold in our hands and just be happy with the final product, proud of it. And I got to say, I think with who we teamed up with TBN and Trilogy, I think our expectations were not only met but exceeded. And I got to say too, even just the coverage surrounding the release of the book and what people are saying already and just the excitement around it. I couldn't have timed it better with Daytona this weekend, the 40th anniversary of Hendrick Motorsports, and like Geoff alluded to earlier with the Martinsville appearance, that's going to be 40 years ago that iconic win happened in April. So couldn't have picked a better time for the book to come out. And we had toyed with the idea of when this does release, Daytona would be ideal. Just it so happened to be it's this year, and gosh, the cards couldn't have aligned a little better.
Yeah, for sure. You know, obviously, in a career that spans over 4 or 5, 6 decades, I mean, how do you even begin to choose what story? I mean, you have some obvious ones, the first win, like you mentioned, but how do you even begin to choose what stories you want to put in there?
No, we started from the beginning. My parents' grandfather built a racetrack out of a year old and a little dirt track in Chemung, New York, and my father built me a little race when I was 5. They had a small track inside. So that's the beginning of what you're going to read. but it goes through all those years because there are a lot of interesting parts. It's not. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy going from there to Daytona to win. That was a dream. Dreams sometimes come true and sometimes they don't. Well, this is a pretty high dream, and a lot of people thought, well, it never comes true. So we're very, very fortunate, very blessed that it did. But along the way, there's a lot of obstacles that we hopped over and had plenty of help, and getting a cup, and that didn't go all smooth. Nothing always does. You always lose more than you win, and we certainly did. But through those years, just a tremendous amount of ups and downs. Kind of like the track at Dover. It's rough, up and down, up and down. And so, but it contains really the beginning and the travels of my career to get the cup. And then when we get there, we tell stories about the car owners, stories about NASCAR. That'll be interesting to read, won't they? Yes, about some tire wars and some other things that went on. And of course, with the late Dale Earnhardt, we never really saw eye to eye. He was taller than I was, so when I looked at him, I just saw his belly button. Glad I didn't have to fight him or Carl Edwards. They're big, big guys. But that's all interesting. People don't know the rest of the story behind all that. They saw it on TV. They saw the bumps, the crashes, whatever. A whole lot behind the story, and so that's told. But then the most important part to me, the reason I wanted to write a book, was my faith part in my professional life and personal life, and that is strong. It didn't just happen when I had that wreck at Daytona. That was way before that started. But there's parts of my life I didn't realize what I was missing, and so that tells that whole story. And I had dreams of going to Daytona and winning and racing against Richard Petty, my hero back then, and other heroes. And really, as a dream, how's that farm kid from upstate New York go from there to Daytona and race? That was just a far out dream. But the biggest thing that I can't believe has happened is writing this book. I never dreamed, never in my wildest dreams thought there was going to be a book about me that people really wanted to read and were interested in. So just very fortunate for the career in NASCAR that gave me all these stories, and the car owners I drove for, the crew people, and important part of all that is my faith. So get the book. And here's your card that all started it all. This number 5 is on the cover of the book. And we're going to do a little thing at Daytona on Thursday with Rick Hendrick 40th anniversary. The Speedway is doing some stuff. A lot of drivers are going to be there. And of course, my wife and I will be there and have some fun and tell some jokes. And I'm going to wear this t-shirt, all of it.
Yeah, all of it for sure. Yeah, and you touched on it with just being like a small town kid. Dominic, I know that's something that you share as well, and even just growing up a sport. How wild is just something like this with the book and everything, the collaboration?
Well, he's got his die cast. I've got my die cast here. This is the Geoff Bodine #7 Phillips Ford Taurus.
That's the wrong.
Nice. Does it say what now?
That's the wrong car.
I know. Yeah, well, that's the car that really got me involved in the sport and made me want to be a part of it. And you talk about like origin stories, and that's the car for me. And getting to race that car as a small town kid, Grants, New Mexico. I love telling the story. Santa brought NASCAR 99 one year for Christmas, and my brother and I got hooked on motorsports, and I raced that car a lot. And you told me 20 years ago that I'd be getting to work with Geoff Bodine and tell his story. Wouldn't have believed it. So small town kid from Grants, New Mexico. Again, like how Geoff said, how does this happen? How does a small town kid from Grants? There's no NASCAR connections in this town. There's not really a big racing community, but I kind of just forged my own way we have the website with the racing experts. And I think over the years, just calling Geoff and reaching out and saying, hey, we want to run a story, you got a ride, that sort of thing. And just, it kind of evolved from that over the years. And here we are, 2024, with a book that we're very, very proud of.
And very adorable son there that I saw in the picture too, little baby Christopher there.
Yes, he's back there. He's causing a little bit of terror in the office, but that's expected with a 15-month-old.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. You know, another thing too, you talk about first being a fan before becoming a journalist and a media member. I gotta ask, you know, when you guys were coming like together, and Geoff, you were sharing your stories, and Dominic, you were taking them in. Dom, were there any stories that you heard and were just like, whoa, like the inner fan in you was just kind of like, whoa, I did not realize that. That's crazy.
That's an excellent question. I think it might have been the first or the second phone call that we were doing to put this book together, because Geoff agreed to do this. Well, it was about August, September of 2015, somewhere in there. And the technology came a long way. We learned a lot over the years. And some of those early phone calls, I'd have the recorder and just ask him questions and play it back. And one of those first stories he was telling me was loading up in the car and going to Daytona, or going to Florida, I should say, as a family, and then telling his family he's going to race there someday. And I'll let the rest of the book tell that story. But hearing that is one of the first few stories that we were getting together for this project. Like, it hooked me in right away. I was already sold. I already wanted to help him. And then you hear stories like that right off the bat, just grab my attention for sure. And just those are the ones that kind of stick out. Those early ones that we really worked together to piece this project together.
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
You missed one story that a lot of people didn't know about, is that I did something special to race at my father's track when I was just 16 years old, and quite unique. I don't know if anyone in the whole world has ever done it. I'm sure somebody did, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. I didn't get in trouble. I should have won the race, but I didn't, because there's a reason why. But I'm teasing you. It's a pretty crazy, wild story, and it's kind of unbelievable that I would do something like that, but I did.
Yeah, I probably couldn't get away with that today with a bunch of cameras and microphones and everybody with social media and phones. Somebody tries to do what you did now, probably wouldn't work.
No, there's no video, no camera, no pictures of it. Just, I have witnesses, my cousin Pam and her husband Mike. So I can prove it if I need to.
Or if you don't need to, or if you don't want to, whatever you want to do. But I like the tease, especially, you know, in TV, we always like the teases. That'd be a great A tease there. That was pretty good. Like it. You know, Geoff, I mean, just since this book was announced, you know, now with the release, I mean, what has it been like for you, and who all have you heard from?
Well, you know, a famous guy named Mark Martin. We're on Facebook together, and we keep up with each other. And he sent me a Facebook a text and said, "Mine's on the way." So he's bought a book and he wants to read about it, I guess, what I said. You know, fortunately for me and unfortunately for him, in '82, I won Rookie of the Year and he didn't. And that really bothered him, which it should have. And, you know, you can't apologize for earning something. We earned it, but I do want to say Mark was definitely a rookie, a great rookie. He turned into a great driver and won a lot of races. And, you know, sorry I beat him out of that Rookie of the Year, but I think he finally understood it was just an award. It's just something. You know, we had better luck with our car. We finished more races or whatever it was. So, but I love Mark and can't wait to see him. Hopefully he'll be in Daytona. I don't know if he is.
For sure. Yeah. And Dom, what's it been like for you?
I think it's been pretty cool. Just the coverage we've seen the last few weeks, and really the first time I think anybody got a heads up on it, I think outside of our own families and friends and small circles, was when Geoff was on the Dale Jr. Download back in 2022. I think people realized, wait, he's working on a book. Wait, what's going on here? So that kind of built up a little bit of hype. And I think that kind of, I can't speak for Geoff, but it definitely put a fire under my butt to really make sure that we got this done and wrapped it up and put the little bow tie on it, and which we have. And I think it's been humbling to see all of it. I have been, everything has exceeded my expectations as far as, you never really know what to expect. And this is my first time doing a project like this, and you want to make sure it's done right and do right by all the people that have been involved. And it's blown me away with all the coverage it's received, what people have been reaching out and just saying, congratulations, and getting a copy of the book. Can't wait for Geoff to sign it. Can't wait for you to. That's weird to me when people are saying, I want your autograph. I'm like, no. You want Geoff's autograph. But Felice, my wife, has been saying, no, just take the compliment. Somebody wants you to sign their book, do it. But yeah, like just take the compliment, Dominic. But I keep deferring him to Geoff, like, he's the star of the show. You want his autograph.
No, you sign. And, the way folks can get an autograph copy is to go on the link, teambodine.square.site. That comes to us, and it's all through Square. And we'll send a book out autographed, and if you want a name on it, just tell us. Or at a signing like Daytona, like New Smyrna we did, and like we're going to do in Atlanta. We'll be in Atlanta. That's going to be a fun deal. I've traveled all my life. Here I am doing it again, but I don't have to put that uniform on and get all sweaty and stinky and drive 500 or 600 miles around a track. I just enjoy being in Atlanta, being at Martinsville, being wherever I go. So, and just spend more time with the fans. It'll be great.
Well, a little less pressure than trying to go for a win or something like that.
Pardon?
A little less pressure than trying to go for the win or something like that.
Well, yeah, there's pressure in this book, and we spent a lot of time, energy, and money on this project. And now, from the results we're seeing right now, I mean, there's no problem. We're very happy with what's going on. And Dom, I think you said it's 22nd on the Christian books list.
Yeah, at the time of this taping on Amazon, it's listed as 20th overall or 20th on the Christian section, and then overall Amazon books 1,676, if that's the exact number. But what's crazy about that, Jonathan, I've checked that number. I'm curious, you know me, I'm a numbers guy, and that number's fluctuated a lot, but I haven't seen it that low because Amazon has hundreds of thousands of books, not millions, listed. And I've seen our book in the six-figure range, which, it's a pre-release, I get it, but I think all the talking about it and people wanting to pick up a copy, it's really, really humbling to see that number just keeps going down on the overall on the Amazon list. So it's pretty cool to see stuff like that.
It is a long run book. It is not a short run book.
Well, actually, there's a certain number of pages that these kind of books usually have. Well, we went over. We went quite a ways over pages, so we had to pay a little extra to get the extra pages in the book. But they said, well, you can take something out. I said, no, we're not taking anything out. Everything that's in that book is going to stay. We'll just give you a few more dollars for a few more pages, and it was worth it. Once you tell a story and once you go through all that, how do you take anything out? You can't. I mean, it's all important. That's why it was in there. So we're happy with the book. It might take you 2.5 days to read it now. It's so long, but it's a fun read. My wife was reading it the other night. As you go through a book, you read every section that is written. And so we have. But then when you get to the end, you figure out what the beginning was because it's all broken up. It's not all at one time. And Lori was in reading a book, started laughing. I said, why are you laughing? Oh, you got some funny stuff in here. So it isn't all serious, some fun in there and some serious stuff, of course, with my faith. And so everything's in there, from funny to faith to crashes to NASCAR to people. I've had a great life. I thank God for it every day. And I thank Him for the hard times that I went through, because it's makes you who you are. And when you're going through hard times, you lean on God. You know, accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior, but you lean on God. Say, God, I don't know. Can you help me? I mean, I'm struggling. And boy, every time I prayed, and He answered them. And the power of prayer is in the book. So when you read it, you're going to see how that power of prayer worked for me.
Absolutely. That faith element's a big part of the book, and I would say it's the most important chapter. And it's at the end, and it ties everything all together very, very well. And one thing I want to add too, Jonathan, too, is you'll see is you, the reader, pick up the book and read through it, and you look at all these different people who gave a quote or two for the story. Those are all exclusive quotes. Now, of course, we would have loved to have a lot more people, and who do you include, all that sort of thing. And of course, some people are no longer here, unfortunately, to be able to help enhance some of those stories. But every quote you see in the book was exclusively gathered for this project. And there's stuff from Rick Hendrick to Ricky Rudd, Mark Martin, the late Bob Jenkins, Dr. Jerry Punch. There's some really, really good people. Once you told them that we're working on this project and wanted to do an interview with them and have some sort of quote or two to add to the stories, they were all for it. Not a single person turned us down for it. So really cool to see all these names that came together, and they're like, we can't wait for that book to be out. So they knew this book was coming out years ago too. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Man, that's remarkable that y'all got Bob Jenkins, especially, yeah, just while he was still here. That is really awesome to hear. You know, we're racing at the end of a celebration. This feels kind of like a celebration. You got to think for people. Who would you guys like to thank?
To thank, you know, that's why in the book I didn't put a list of people to thank, because it's way too long, and I know I would have forgotten someone. So we put in there that I wanted to thank everyone that helped my career and my career, because without their help, might not have happened. You know, when you're racing short tracks, you need fans to help you, and I had lots of fans helping me, friends. So yeah, I like to name them all, but man, I know I would have forgotten somebody, and that wouldn't have been good. So just thank everybody that helped, and they know who they are. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, some aren't here; they're gone, they passed on, and hopefully they're listening, and maybe they'll get a copy of the book somehow.
Yes,
I'll take it to me when I go up.
I like that. No, I have to echo that too, because there's always, you never want to snub anybody, but that without the possibility of that happening, all the people that have helped with the project, from the people at the start to the middle to the end to the people who have supported us, I think thank you a million, because I think too, I can't speak for Geoff, but when you tell some of the people what you're working on, naturally people are just going to bring things up. Hey, how's that project going? Hey, how's that going? And a lot of those people for me kept me going and kept this thing going, like that burning fire to get this done. And so a lot of people, whether you realize it or not, were like a mentor to me or a coach for me personally. So thank you.
Sure. And of course, all of it by Geoff Bodine, Dominic Aragon, autobiography out now, February 13th. You release date 2024. Guys, where can people find it?
Well, at Amazon Books. Go to Barnes and Noble. They're releasing it on the 13th, I believe. Maybe, what's today? It might be the 13th. But if you go to teambodine.square.site, you will get the book from us. We have, we're the main part of the book, so we got them before anyone else. But yeah, we've do that, and I'll autograph it, whatever you want on there. Actually, my wife had a friend that wanted me to kiss the book. So we have pictures of it. She put lipstick on my lips and I kissed the book. I've never done that before. I signed a dog one time at Darlington. Well, the owner was drunk, the dog wasn't, but so I signed a short-haired dog after the race, but I never kissed the book until a couple of days ago. Thank you, Lord.
That sounds like that's going to be a one and done, right? That's a one out of one special book right there.
Well, no, I'll do whatever it takes to sell a book. I'll put lipstick on and give it a kiss. See, we need to put that in a book, Don. We got to we got to write another book.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a part two, because we've started talking, Jonathan, and we're like, well, hey, this wasn't in there, or hey, maybe we could go a little more into detail on this. So maybe there'd be a re-release at some point, or a part two. All of it continued.
Well, my brothers remember more about my career than I do, and they told a lot of stories that's in the book. And I finally had to tell them, quit telling me anything, because we got to end the book. But they were watching my career. I mean, Brett's 10 years younger and Todd's another 5 years younger. So they watched the beginning of my career for sure. And yeah, they tell me a story. I said, wait a minute, I really did that? Are you sure that was me? Yeah, it was you. So yeah, there's another book in the works, I think. You know, all the things we didn't put in this book.
And a little bit more of it. Daytona 500 champion tells the actual rest of the story.
You bet.
Love it. Yeah. Well, again, all of it. Daytona 500 champion tells the rest of the story. Geoff Bodine, Dominic Aragon. This was a lot of fun, guys.
Hey,
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for having us. And gosh, like I said, dream come true. This is a dream come true for a little kid from Grants, New Mexico, who enjoyed the sport of NASCAR and has had the opportunities to be a part of the sport. And this, gosh, just, I don't know, just along for the ride. It's been awesome, one day at a time. And like Geoff, got to thank God and just give him all the glory and all the support we've had. It's a dream come true.
It was meant to be, Dom. Somehow, the Lord knows He put us together, and so I give Him all the credit for this.
Yeah,
Thanks guys for watching, listening, and get out there and buy those books. Come see us at the racetracks. We'll do more. I'm going to be in Watkins Glen for sure. That's home, so I have to go to Watkins Glen. I mean, we want to, but there's other tracks that we're considering. We'll see how it goes here at Daytona and Atlanta, and then we'll put a list out of what other tracks we're going to go to. Is there a track over in Hawaii, in Maui? I'd like to go over there. Maybe we'll just go there for fun of it. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds like a good time. Well, they have the Aloha Stadium. They could maybe move the track next year and put a racetrack.
Yeah, there you go.
I got a name idea. The King's Hawaiian Clash.
There you go. Well, thanks for having us on.
Yeah, this was fun. Thank you, guys.